Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Isle of Man in the UK. This is John and Mike's MMA Corner.
Shamrock FC have got a fight card coming up in March, start of March, 12th of March, sorry. Can't even get my words out here. I have got Erion here. I've got that right, I hope. Here we go. So you're fighting on the Shamrock FC card in an amateur bout which it's got more than one implication from the result from it. Now, not only is there I believe the belt online, but it's the potential of the pro contract with Shamrock FC. Is this anything that plays on your mind when you're coming into this fight, or is it just just another name, just another guy to take on?
No, I mean, I'm not really putting any emphasis on this fight. To me, every competitor, everyone I step into the cage with is just another guy. You know, he has two arms and two legs, and he can't do anything different than the previous opponents. As far as the belt being on the line, some people don't know this, but I'm actually the Fight Hard 135-pound champion. So, I mean, in terms of championships, it's champion versus champion. I'm not fighting this dude for his belt. I care less about the belt. And, you know, the contract is a nice to have. You know, it's definitely an honor, but I'm not fighting him for the contract. I'm fighting him because he's the guy with the name at 145, and I want to beat him. You know, I want to prove to people that I can fight in multi-weight classes and be competitive and be dominant. And this is the first step to doing that.
And you said there obviously multiple weight classes. Are you comfortable then at a certain weight class and you're experimenting with the other weight class, or is this just something you'd like to maybe do in the future with the professional ranks, being able to bounce between a couple of weight classes?
Yeah, no. So you know, I'm 5-0 in boxing and 8-0 in MMA, and 8 of my MMA fights, 3 of them have been at 145. So I'm actually 5-0 at 135 and 3-0 in 145. So, you know, and in boxing, I've fought at 42, 49, 55. I've always just kind of taken the fights that have intrigued me. I've always taken the fights that, you know, it wasn't really the weight that I took the fight at. It was the competitor that I was facing that made me want to take the fight. And sometimes, you know, guys can't make 135. But if you really want to fight, you know, whatever. Like Cortavious, he's a champion at 45. I want to fight him. There's no way I can tell him to come down to 135, so, you know, I'll meet him at 145. I have no problem with that. With the way I train, with the teammates that I have and my work ethic, I have no problem, any weight class, any fight, it doesn't matter.
Well, that's a good kind of mindset to have. And secondly, the more important part is you're happy in the skill set you have. That's what's key, because a lot of guys, the reason why they drop the load of weight, you know, from 10, 20 to 30 pounds. The reason why they do it is because they feel that will give them immediately one advantage in a fight, which is, you know, maybe being bigger, stronger, etc. But at the same time, if your skill set is enough, you shouldn't have to make that drastic cut down to the weight classes.
Well, I mean, it makes sense, right? You know, why do we train? We train for self-defense first and foremost, so that if I ever do get into an altercation, I can defend myself. You know, if someone approaches me outside, you know, what am I going to do? Stop them and say, oh, you know, what do you weigh, buddy? Oh, 160, no, you're too big, you know, we're not going to do this. No, I got to be prepared to defend myself against all comers, 250 pounds, 125 pounds, it doesn't matter. But in competition, I feel like that's kind of a weakness to, you know, to say that I only fight at this weight class. This is where I feel comfortable. In my eyes, that's a weakness. That's doubt. That's you thinking that you cannot win unless you have some sort of physical advantage. You know, that being said, even in this fight, I've stood next to Cortavious. I've sized him up before. I feel like I am the bigger man, even at 45. You know, when I cut down to 35, I do it very intelligently. I have a diet on point. I have, you know, 2 to 3 coaches watching my every move, including my intake, and we have it down to a science. You know, making 135 is hard, but we do it intelligently. Making 145 is, I mean, you know, I'm weighing in today 152. You're talking about a week outside of the fight, I'm 7 pounds off of weight. You know, I can make 45 tomorrow if I wanted to. So, you know, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling strong. I feel like when we fight, I'm not giving up any sort of physical advantage. I feel like we will be even in size and strength. But when it comes to technique and potency, I'm going to be far above him.
And you say that technique-wise, you feel you're going to be a superior grappler and striker, etc. And what is it that gives you this confidence? Is it so? Who is it you're training with? What background is it then that it gives you, or what knowledge do you feel it is that you have over him?
It's just how comfortable I am in all aspects of fighting. I've seen him fight. And, he's a very explosive, very powerful fighter. And he comes out, that first round, he's like a freight train. And everyone he's ever fought has always been backing up and has always kind of over-respected his power and all this stuff. You're not going to get that from me. I train with stronger guys. I train with better wrestlers. And I train with better strikers. I train with Muay Thai champions. And I train with collegiate D1, D2, and NAIA wrestlers all the time. And these are guys that are established in their specific martial arts, right? If I can go out there and wrestle with the wrestlers and keep up with them, and I can go out there and strike with the kickboxers and keep up with them, yet when I come to MMA, I can culminate it together so beautifully that I excel in all facets. Explain to me why you would ever be scared, why you would ever be worried. I am 100% confident in my abilities, that I am not only better in every facet, but when this fight starts to ratchet up, my cardio will be phenomenal. I've gone, we go now to the point where we're doing 10 3-minute rounds with no breaks in between. I'm the only guy in, and they're just funneling guys in, fresh guys. And I'm the one turning up the pace, each round harder than the next. Because it doesn't matter, how strong or how powerful they can be. Everyone's body is the same, and anyone can be taken down with a body shot, a good kick, none of these things, you could be the most muscular man in the world, but we're not doing a body lifting competition or a weightlifting competition. This is fighting. All I need is one powerful shot can end this night.
Well, it don't even need power as well. You think about it, if you're just moving out the way with cutting an angle, as long as he's coming towards you, the momentum himself that he throws, you just have to land.
That's a great point, man. He's a very front and back fighter. Comes in strong, doesn't really disengage well. if you've ever seen me fight, I am not that fighter. I am more angles, level changes. One facet that I have that he, hasn't ever fought before is someone that can switch leads. I can fight in southpaw and orthodox whenever I want. I switch leads constantly in between my combinations. I can counter fight well. I can fight going back as well as I can fight going forward. I feel like I just have too many skills, and I've been training much longer than he has for him to come out the victor in this fight. Everyone has a brawler's chance. 4-ounce gloves, no shin guards, no headgear, anything can happen. Yeah. And I acknowledge that fact. But if I were a betting man, and I am not, but if I were, I'd put all my money on me.
So, going into this then, you say that you kind of train with guys who are very qualified in their specific martial arts, okay? Obviously then, when you're training with them, for example, you're just doing pure wrestling, you're learning the wrestling techniques, you're going to Muay Thai, you're learning wrestling. Is it your coaches then, or is it yourself? Is it a combination of the two that help mould the sport, the martial arts specifically into MMA though? Because anyone can go in there and just stand there and do Muay Thai stance, but it's having the skill set to blend in Muay Thai and wrestling. They're two different martial arts, two different stances. So how do you work that one together then to get that comfortable and fluidity?
That's an excellent question, man, and that is probably the biggest detriment to a lot of fighters is they get too comfortable in a specific stance and they don't train MMA. Yeah. Maybe they do 10 kickboxing rounds, but they don't do any MMA rounds where the stances are different and you have the takedowns to worry about. And, what happens when you take it to the ground? Is he a more submission guy or does he like to do the ground and pound? These are all things we also train for. When you do kickboxing, when you do jiu-jitsu, when you do boxing or wrestling, it is up to you, the fighter, to adapt your game to what you're learning, right? All body types, all frames are different. You can teach 100 guys a triangle choke, or you can teach 100 guys a new way to throw a hook, and their body types or their way of fighting might not be compatible with it. So the way I look at it is, I just get information thrown at me in terms of training Muay Thai, training kickboxing, boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, all of these things. The more exposure I can get to these martial arts, the better. It is up to me, however, to pick and choose what I feel is comfortable for my style of fighting, what I feel is comfortable for the way I transition. I have no problem going from a boxing stance, sprawling out on a takedown, getting into a jiu-jitsu grappling match, maybe throwing in some punches and elbows in there, None of these things matter to me. I feel comfortable in transitions, in different stances, and in different facets of this game. Some people are saying that they are strikers. They like to fight on their feet. And some people say, I'm going to take them down and do whatever I want to him. I'm a jiu-jitsu wrestler guy. Believe me when I tell you, I feel comfortable in all facets of the fight. If he wants to come in, I'll counterfight. If he wants to respect me, I'll be the aggressor. If he wants to take me down, I'll sprawl. Good luck taking me down, buddy. I know my wrestling. I have state medals to, account for my abilities. I know what I can do. And I feel like this guy's just going to get outclassed, plain and simple. He has nothing for me other than a belt that I want.
Well, I was going to say, he's got a belt that you want. Yeah, that's the thing then. Secondly, as well, you mentioned there that you're comfortable in all areas. I suppose then you put that. I imagine you put a lot of that down to then your training partners, because they're the ones that put you in each of them facets and also put you in the uncomfortable positions, and that help give you the kind of comfortability, that comfortable zone of being in them. Because I admit, I don't like getting knee ride by a big fat lump, but sometimes it happens. You get a big lump on your knee riding you. It sucks. But you know what? After a while, you get used to it, you manage it, and do you know what? You appreciate it more, the fact that people have done it to you. So I suppose, I kind of credit goes to your teammates.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you hit the nail on the head once again. Anyone can look good hitting the mitts or hitting the bag or in a controlled environment when they're going up against some smaller guys. But when you're forced, when you're tired, it's the 6th, 7th round, and you got a 180-pound guy on you who, he might be a wrestler or a jiu-jitsu guy, you can't rely on your physical abilities anymore. And that's the beauty of martial arts, because when you're tired and your body gives out, that's when you have to rely on the technique and the actual art within martial arts. If you don't have it, you're going to learn real quick what you don't know and what you do know based on when you're tired. Everyone looks good when they're in shape and, it's the first round. It's how you look in the third round when you're gassed that is important to me. And I like to think that if I got the bumps and bruises, if I'm breathing heavy, I still look the same in the third round as I do in the first round. Same pace, same motion, same movement, same angle, same level changes, feints, all that stuff. I don't slow down. I'm like, I don't know if you know who Dan Gable is, but he's an amazing Olympic wrestler.
Amazing,
back in the day.
yeah.
Yep, and one of the things, I read a book on him one time when I was in high school, and one of the things that has always stuck out in my mind was his mentality on the lead. Some people, when they get a lead on someone, they start to coast.
Yes.
They say, I'm ahead, now it's the time to kind of slow it down. No. His mentality was build the lead, beat him more, beat him by more, constantly build that lead, make the opponent know that they had no business being in there with you from the get-go. And I love that mentality. In the first round, I start off winning, usually, in all my fights. I don't slow down in the second. I build off that lead. And then by the third round, they're just lucky to be in the game. This is the mentality I take into fighting. No hesitation, no fear, push, go, move forward, beat this guy up.
It's a great mentality to have, because I suppose you see in a lot of sports, not just MMA, especially if you want to think about maybe NFL or something. NFL teams, they'll be like 30 points ahead, and you can just see them coasting, and then the other team come back and get 20 points, but they don't mind because they know they haven't got time to get it back. And you think, well, why did you bother letting them score 20? Why not make sure they have 0 points? Make sure they got none, 0. Just crush them. It astounds me, some of the things when I watch some sports and you see teams coasting, and that mentality that Dan Gable has. That's why he was so successful. That's why he was an absolute monster. Let's be honest. The freak of nature is the best way to describe him. But look, it's a great way to have his, to see that and kind of have that mindset that he hasn't taken into a fight. It does serve well, and it's serving you well anyway. I can tell you that much. I was going to say, do you know? Have you looked up the meaning of your name?
In Albanian, I believe it means our heir, but I think maybe in different languages it might mean something different.
Close.
I know that in Albanian.
Yeah. Albanian definition I've been told is the wind from Ion Sea.
Yep. I think it's. I love my name, man. It's unique. When I was little, I always got flack for it because no one could pronounce it. But then my mom and dad kind of told me where it originated from, and I kind of developed a little pride for it. let me put it to you this way. I've been on this planet for 23 years, and I have yet to meet someone with my name. So.
Well, yeah, that's a pretty good way to look at it. And I'll tell you one thing, you said people couldn't say it when you were a kid. People still can't say it now. Don't worry about it.
You're not gonna be the last.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm not commentating on the fight, so I can breathe a sigh of relief with the pair of you two. But look, you're fighting on the Shamrock card. You've got goals. You've already kind of put in the foundations of the skill sets required to have your kind of pro rank debut in the future set for winning ways. So this really is just kind of you're just sharpening up your tools again to take yourself up to that next level. And I'm sure it's going to be a great 2016 for you. But before I'll let you go, can you shout out any social media stuff that you have for people to jump onto and maybe ask any questions or maybe just support and follow you?
Yeah, man, I would love to. So for the longest time I was only on Facebook at Erion Zekthi, ErionZekthi, and then as I was getting closer and closer to a professional debut, more and more people kept telling me to get on Twitter. So you can follow me at the Albanian one. That's my Twitter handle. I recently just got on Twitter about a month ago, so still learning the ways of how to tweet and just keep up on Facebook and Twitter, and I'm sure I'm gonna have to make an Instagram here soon. But social media is nice. I used to take it for granted because I thought it's just people talking. But I'll tell you what, man, the amount of love and just the support that you can get from fans and people that you might not see the day to day, it's really just it's inspiring. We did an interview with Shamrock, and I think like a minute 15-second interview got like almost 3,000 views on YouTube, and these are the people that maybe I've never met in person, or maybe have only seen me in the cage fight once or twice, but these are guys that support me and want to see me do good. And I'll tell you what, it's definitely it drives you because you feel like you're fighting for more than just yourself now. You're fighting for all the people that believe in you and want to see you do well as fighting against all the people that want to see you fall and not giving them the satisfaction of seeing you on a bad day.
Well, that's the beauty. Like you say, it's a double-edged sword. You got love and you got hate on both sides in one area. So I think I've got a social media friend. I started with Facebook like you. Then I got to Twitter. I had to get my head around that, and then I had to get my head around Instagram. It's just a vicious circle of all these social, and you just think I don't have a life now to actually have time to write about what I'm doing. Usually, it's if I'm on Twitter, I'm saying, just writing a status on Facebook. That's what I write on Twitter. And if I go on Facebook, just writing a status on Twitter. You haven't got time to have a life because of all the stuff you got to update on social media. But it's something you kind of need, I think, especially in the MMA side of things, to get yourself out there. And again, it's a great way to engage with fans. It's really helpful.
Oh yeah, and that's been I made it because people were telling me to make it, but the reason I kept it was, I can't tell you how many, because a lot of people they don't like to comment or, maybe retweet or whatever. Sometimes they just message you, and it's nice, hey man, can't wait to see you on the 12th, or hey man, I'm looking forward to the fight, or I can't wait, I'm looking, I believe in you, and all this stuff. It's just, when you're grinding and your body's aching and you're kind of questioning yourself, like, why am I doing this? It's really nice. It gives you that little extra edge to get through that practice, or make that weight cut, because it's more than just you now. Yeah,
exactly. And have you got any sponsors, by the way? Have you got anyone helping you out while you're doing the amateur rank stuff?
No, currently, because of the way things work in amateur career, I have a couple shout-outs that I could do, but in terms of sponsorships, we wanted to keep that to a minimum because we never wanted to get into that controversy of making money as an amateur. When I'm pro, that's one thing, but as an amateur, I want to do this just for the love. But yeah, we have Fastest TKO, who's doing all our vinyl and printing on the shorts and the banner, and I just wanted to shout out to them and say thank you for their awesome services to me. I wanted to have a shout out to my gym, Wolf's Den, who has been my new home now for 4 or 5 months, and the time and the staff there really care about me as a person, want to see me flourish. I just can't thank those guys enough. They've kind of reinvigorated me, given me a newfound respect and love for the sport, and I just really want to thank the St. Louis MMA community, because whether you hate me or you love me, you're going to like to watch me either win or lose. And if that's the case, you're just making me more popular. I love it, man. I love it.
Exactly. Well, look, it's going to go down a storm, I'm sure, the 12th of March. Shamrock FC seem to put on the kind of cards that people always attend and watch and love to enjoy. You're on the card. I'm sure you're going to have a handful of people there watching you perform and supporting you and backing you up. And I'm sure the rest of the year is going to go fantastic for you as well. I just want to say thank you very much for your time and giving us, just this conversation. And again, I look forward to speaking to you in the future, hopefully, in your pro ranks as well.
Oh man, the pleasure is all mine. I appreciate you guys and what you do, giving guys like me a little platform to speak my piece.